Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of the Big Black Sports Show. It's your man Kevin Barnes. I usually say your man 50 grand because I'm old school with my slang, but it is what it is. It's your man Kevin Barnes, mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer. The Big Black Sports Show is in the building. Let's hear it one more time for the Big Black Sports Show. I'm not alone. I got my co-host with me, Mr. Larry Purdue. What's going on, my brother? How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, bro. How's it going?
Man, it's tight. It's tight. It's tight, man.
Yeah,
Super Bowl over. Got a lot to talk about.
yeah,
Glad you're here
yeah.
on a
Yes,
Tuesday night.
I'm still suffering from Super Bowl hangover right now.
Uh-oh.
It's
You hung
okay,
up? Uh-oh. Was you
man.
did you imbibe too much during the Super Bowl?
Well, no. I was pretty responsible. It's just the fact that the season is over now. It's usually a sad time for me.
Okay. Okay.
Realizing that there won't be any more pro football for a while.
Well, you got
So
the
yeah,
you got the USFL coming now. Don't sleep on that.
okay. I wasn't aware of that. So they're going to play what this spring?
Supposedly they're gonna try it again in spring. I think this time it's actually co-owned by the NFL. So it's less
Mm,
chance of sabotaging it, as they say, right? But
okay.
you know what? You said something very interesting. For a lot of people, this does begin kind of like a dark, a lights out time for sports. Really, all we have really is the Bucks. And of course, you got Marquette
Right.
basketball. You have the NCAA if you're into that. But for people
Yep.
like football dudes, this is like the crazy part of the year. All you really are looking forward to is like the draft and spring ball is coming up for colleges, but the USFL may be something that'll kind of help us out this year with our
Yeah.
thirst, I should say, to see football. But we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl tonight. We're gonna talk about the Bucks. We're gonna talk about a lot of sports, a lot of stuff that's going on in our culture. Hit like, hit share, hit follow. We're live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook soon. My wife just came up with an innovation tonight, so we're going to be adding Instagram feed to what we do. And I just realized too when she said it's crazy that she said it because I can hook I can hook my stuff up to my Rodecaster Pro, and we can add YouTube to our broadcast. So we're going to be streaming on there as well.
Cool.
So, but make sure on Mondays and Wednesdays you rock with us on Outlaw Radio with myself and Kamar Carter, Courtney Francois, different guests, different topics, all kinds of stuff. And coming, I want to say this week or next week, depending on how I feel, is our newest show on the People's Network will be Outlaw Nation. Okay. And Outlaw Nation is just going to be a show where I'm just throwing it up in the air. And I want the people who listen to the show, whatever they want to talk about, I want them to be able to call in. I want them to get live in the chat room. So ain't no telling where these topics will go. Ain't no telling where the discussion will go. I know I like to do a lot of socio-political stuff on Outlaw Radio, which is needed in our community. We like to laugh and have a little fun on the Big Black Sports Show. So Outlaw Radio is just going to represent just the unknown, right? I feel like Milwaukee is a town where it has a lot of personality and a lot of people in it with big
True.
personality, right? And I've had
Yep.
a lot of
That's
them on
right.
the show over the years, but I feel like Outlaw Nation is where we're going to try to start showing that side of Milwaukee. Just, shit might get wild. Tune in, you'll see. But tonight we're going to do a Big Black Sports Show, man.
Let's
Sports
do
told
it.
from a black male's perspective, man. Tank. Now you said you're a little weary, a little leery because the football season's over. So let's talk about this Super Bowl. Um, I'm no expert with the Roman numerals, so I don't even know which one it was. Right? It was like
No,
LV, right? Like I don't know if y'all
right.
know. Y'all know what number that is. It what is it? 50 what?
Yeah.
I know the B is
Man,
right. So
I
all
lost
right,
track. I lost track a long time ago.
it might be 55. It might be Super Bowl 55. Okay, so I wanted to break it up, right? Like because we're going to talk about the game, which nobody,
Right.
if you really notice, nobody's talking about the game. It's either about the commercials, it's about the halftime show, it's about
Right.
you know next year already. That's like what happens when you win a championship. I just so happened to be watching a special with Terry Bradshaw, and he said that one of the worst parts about winning a championship is that you don't get to enjoy it because immediately
Mm,
you start planning for next year. So it starts to be like, okay, well, now that's over. Can you repeat? It's like, damn, can I enjoy it first? So we're gonna
right.
get into the outlook for some teams for next year. We'll talk about the Packers. We got to talk about
Cool.
the Packers. I want to talk about the game. So it was a defensive game. Not a bad game to me.
It's a good
I
game.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad game. People say this is a defensive game, 23-20. Okay. Cooper Cup was the MVP. He had 98 yards. I felt like OBJ came out and was on pace to really do something. I thought he was like,
Yeah,
okay, this right tonight. He just looked to be
yeah,
playing at a different speed, but then of course he suffered another injury. Injuries are becoming kind of like the theme. It's becoming the
yep,
underlying factor for OBJ. We'll get to that. But the
yeah,
game itself, it was pretty much like we thought. The front seven of the Rams was giving the Bengals a lot of trouble. And we talk about what Burrow needs in order if you want to capitalize. We don't want Burrow to be Aaron Rodgers sized. I just made some shit up. Rodgers sized, meaning you have tremendous talent. You set the record. You got the numbers, but you just get one championship. And right now he doesn't have one. He lost. I'm sorry. Cincinnati had a lot of trouble keeping Joe Burrow up. They couldn't block.
yeah.
They couldn't block the Rams front four, if you will. And I mean, with good reason, because look who's over there. But
7
they,
sacks.
yeah, 7
Wait, are
sacks.
you talking? Yeah, all right. Joe Burrows. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it was 7, right? 7
sacks,
sacks.
7 times. Yep,
That's way too much in one game.
way too many. It's just
Way too many.
and that's not even to count the pressures. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Cincinnati's defense played bad. They didn't play poorly to give up 23 points, and LA had to drive down the field to get the last ones.
Right.
I didn't feel like they done bad. Um, and I
When the
think that
Bengals they picked Stafford twice. You know, they
yeah,
picked Stafford twice. That's some good moments on defense.
yeah. They won the turnover battle. Yes, they did. But I mean, it was a pretty good game. I mean, if you are a football fan, I mean, LA couldn't run the ball at all. I have to give Cincinnati shut their running game all the way
I was
down.
surprised by that too. I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, I was surprised
They
by it
got
too.
3 studs in the backfield, and they
Uh,
couldn't get either one of them off. That was crazy. Especially when they couldn't get Cam Akers off. I knew there was going to be a problem then. But either team could run though. The Bengals got it going, but yeah, at first neither team could run the ball.
yeah, they were pretty evenly matched. I thought in the beginning of the game, it looked like it would be at first. Okay, LA came out, boom, boom, boom. Odell, boom,
Yeah,
down the field. But then, Cincinnati, and people didn't give Cincinnati their credit. Cincinnati actually had a pretty good defense. Some people say not good enough. But once again, football, if you really know football, to give up 23 points means you're in the game. You right there,
yes.
right? So
I mean,
that's not a lot of
look at the
points.
halftime score. The
Right.
score at halftime 13-10. They were in the game.
It was a hard
You
hitting
know,
game, physical game.
it was a good game. The only thing I question is the Rams on goal line
Okay.
in the fourth quarter, where it seemed like the referees. I don't know. It seemed like they just kept calling. Kept making holding calls. And that's a crucial time to make those calls when you haven't been making those kind of calls all game.
Right.
That was kind of suspect to me. It seemed like, what the hell y'all doing, running the goal line scrimmage or something?
I'll tell you
So
what though. I'll tell you what about those interference calls. Um, Cincinnati got away with one after halftime when the receiver, and his name escapes me now because it wasn't Chase, it was the other guy who actually had 100 yards. I'd have to
T
look it up.
Higgins,
I
yeah,
was okay. So he actually grabbed Jalen Ramsey's face mask and kind of, now don't get me wrong, Jalen Ramsey, he flopped a little bit too, but anytime that hand touches that face mask, you got to call offensive pass interference, and they didn't. And
yeah,
the one thing that I've learned, and I don't know if this is kind of like a natural thing or if this is just something that's coincidental. Bad calls in games usually even themselves out. So, like, if your team gets a bad call on it early in the game, 9 times out of 10, they're going to get one in their favor later on. So, and I felt like whoever the linebacker was for Cincinnati, he did grab. You cannot grab. You
Right.
grab. You can't
Right.
grab. Um, and the second one I thought was a legit call too. The first just for them to give, I was in disbelief. Like, how are they gonna allow this man to grab his face mask and throw him forward? But they're humans, so I feel like the calls even themselves out. I feel like they even
Right.
themselves.
It was a bad angle. You know what I'm saying? It was when you look at that play, he went under his arm and grabbed the face mask, and their backs were to that back line. Their backs were to the back line judge. Not making an excuse for it, but it was a tough call to call. But it was a call. It should have been made.
It was
It was,
tough.
you know,
Come on,
it
coach.
should have
It
been
was tough.
made.
Come on, it was tough. Come on now. The fact that
It,
if nothing else, you can see somebody's face getting grabbed. Like, if it was like a pull down low, I say, yeah, that's tough for the ref. He pushed him forward by grabbing his face mask. I don't know how tough that was.
I agree though. It was, I mean, well, no, I think it was a tough call to catch. If you're that backline judge, you don't see that arm coming over. You don't see him grabbing it. But like you said, if you see that sudden head movement from the face mask getting jerked. I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, you said you was drinking, so
On
I'm
TV,
you said you was drinking.
but, but
That's
on
what you
TV,
right,
on
right,
TV, of course, it's gonna be much more obvious looking.
right. I mean, you're right, you're right. But come on, man. How you miss if I'm a ref and this is my job. I believe that's the back judge. I want to say the back judge. I don't know. Umpire, I don't know. As long as I played football, I never knew what ref did what. I just knew I hated them all. But so his job is specifically to watch this play. Usually there's an official standing right there. There's the side
Right.
judge to say, whether or not it's in bounds. So it was a bad call. It was a horrible miss. If
It
they missed
was. It was.
it, but
Hey,
it was a score. The
right.
7 points counted.
But those
So
DBs were playing so those those uh those Rams DBs, they were playing so tough all game. You know, they were doing a lot of illegal stuff. You know, that was getting, they were playing through it. But
uh,
yeah, man. I remember I chose the Rams to win the game. I chose the Rams to win the game, but I did see some things on both sides of the ball that was kind of questionable. Like I, I think the refereeing was terrible. The
right.
game was good, but the refereeing was terrible.
I mean, first of all, anybody who's listening, shout out to my chat room. I see Ewald, Crystal Ship. What up, Crystal? Marshall Curtis. I'm sorry, Courage Marshall, and my homeboy Joey Phillips, my big OG, triple OG, who, like I always say, raised me from knee high to a flea. Right. That's my partner. Right, it's family. It's love right there. Um, y'all chime in because we're just opening up with the Big Black Sports Show on a Tuesday night. We're talking about the game, nothing else, just the game, right? And I want to say, my partner, Mr. Purdue over here,
Yes, sir.
was sipping OE obviously while he was watching the first half. Yeah, but it was a good game. It was what you wanted. It wasn't, some people, believe it or not, will tune into the Super Bowl and they would prefer to see a blowout. I don't, unless it's my team doing the blowout, I don't want to see a
Right.
blowout, right? And it wasn't the Packers. So it was kind of hard to watch a little. I know all y'all Packers fans, we live from the 414. This is Wisconsin. I know we was all a little sad. It was hard for all of us to watch the Super Bowl. All of us some of us here ain't watching that shit, right? Because the Pack
Right.
did, right? Like, and you look at that team, you look at LA and you say, I believe the Packers could have beat them, right? We say that, right? But, if the 49ers, if we couldn't block the 49ers, I don't know for sure that we'd have been able to block Aaron Donald and
But
you know,
did we beat the Rams earlier this year?
we
I
beat the
mean,
Rams,
earlier.
we beat the Rams, we beat the 49ers, and we beat the Bengals, right? So yeah, I think there's always that argument, but you can't lay the egg before you scramble it, right? Or
That's
you
a
have to lay
shame,
it
man.
before you scramble it. I'm sorry, you got to lay it before you
You know,
scramble it. So we was counting our chickens too soon. And but I'm not one who did. You can go back and watch our show. I said beforehand that I thought the 49ers were too physical for the
See,
Packers.
see, that just
We don't
make the end. That just make the end of the football season. The end of the football season even more sour. To just hear you, to just know that the
power.
Packers beat all three of those teams, and man, dude, that's crazy, man.
Right. Yeah. Close but no cigar. Close but no cigar. And we gonna get on the Packers because you can tell brothers from Wisconsin goes. We start talking about the Packers about anything.
Man,
Talking about the talking
man,
about hockey and the
oh,
Packers.
you open the old wounds.
Right. It was a good game. I thought Aaron Donald did what he has been doing. If people haven't watched Aaron Donald, if people don't know the game of football, right? Like, so I know the game because I played and because I coach. So I know it on a really higher level on how different positions and different, groups work. Aaron Donald, in terms of defensive lineman, I'll go ahead and say it. He is the NFL's greatest defensive lineman I've seen since Reggie White. Okay. And if you are fortunate enough to remember ever seeing, I ain't talking about highlights, I'm talking about watching it in real time. If you ever watch Reggie White, you talking about a dude who was so dominant that it just was no matter what you did, you could not block him. It was impossible. Double, triple, trap, chip, whatever techniques they tried. Running backs didn't even want to
Man,
chip Reggie White. And like, I'm not chipping him. What are you talking about? So Aaron Donald is so like, and he plays what we call a 3 technique. Aaron Donald makes it look so easy. He makes it look so easy that and it doesn't hurt to have Von Miller, and it doesn't hurt to have Floyd, and then you got the other big boy who would not let Cincinnati run at all when he was in the
right.
game. Deshaun, I can't remember his name. I got all this stuff wrote down, y'all. I just don't feel like rifling through my notes. Big defensive tackle. He plays the 1 or the 0. Couldn't run when he was in there. Cincinnati couldn't run when he was in there. So, but Aaron Donald, man, goodness gracious. Now this is year 8 for him, and
Miss
supposedly
Robinson.
there's some talk that he was talking about retiring.
Yeah,
And I'm retire, like
yeah,
But once again, I think that Marcus Spears on Get Up ESPN, he made a good point about defensive linemen, and physically it takes such a toll. Just continuous, you know, running into 300-pounders over and over, collisions over and over. It takes
yeah.
it takes a tide on your body. And maybe I don't know if he's feeling. I know he's super swole. He looked like a specimen still, but
Man,
man,
he dude, well, he's been lifting weights since he was 10, 11 years old. His father started him out lifting
okay,
weights. And he said to this day he works out a lot with his father.
okay,
But his father had him like, I saw a documentary that he was featured in, man, and yeah, he's a hog. He's a hog. He's been in the lifting weights since he was a kid, and it
his brother.
shows, man.
His brother was in the NFL. He wasn't a star, but his brother, I guess, was in the NFL for a while. I didn't know about his father, so you put me up on that. You laced me
Yeah,
up with that one. I didn't know that one.
his father. Well, I don't know if his father played, but I know his father worked him out, got him ready. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? In the off season,
Yeah,
got him introduced to weightlifting early.
yeah, he's swell. And his get off, and just as a defensive lineman, as a former, and I played that position. So his get off, you see, if you're in that 3 technique, you got to have this get off. You got to get off that ball and that outside shoulder, that guard. It's really where all the food is. If you're talking about eating
Yep.
as a D, that's where you want to be. Like I've lined up in the 1, I've lined up in the 0, and I was like, I've lined up in the shade, all this kinds of different, but and in the 2, head up on the guard. But at 3,
Right.
if you
That
put
three
me there,
technique.
I was eating. That's how I earned a college
Man,
scholarship. I just in that 3. So Aaron Donald,
that
man, goodness,
speed.
and I ain't putting myself nowhere. Look, stop it. I'm not. I'm just saying I played the position. I wasn't even close to this dude. This dude is 6'1", 285,
Right.
solid.
Hey,
He's
not as big as Reggie White, but
no.
but just as vicious, just as strong, and just as powerful.
I would say he may be just a tad bit more athletic than Reggie White was. but Reggie White was
Yeah.
6'5",
Right.
315. Like, so it's a
But
whole different machine. Like, we talking about,
but Sunday I saw him do something that I saw Reggie White do a lot.
okay,
When he would rush and he just use one hand, he would basically bull rush with one damn hand. He'd come off the line, cock that hand back, and slam that shit into their chest and knock them down with just that one blow. I ain't seen
right.
nobody do that since Reggie White, dude. That is pure strength and power. And he
Once
was
again,
just mad on the. I'm sorry, but on the single blocks, they couldn't stop him.
no,
Unstoppable.
no, not at all. The doubles. I mean, listen, and when we talk about technique, okay, we talk about technique as a D lineman. That what you're talking about, hand placement and striking, is something. I don't know about y'all when y'all coach D line, but that's the first thing I teach D linemen is you got to play with your hands. You have to strike because you
Yeah.
got to keep people off your body. And so his hand placement is perfect, especially like you're talking about on those bull rushes where he's getting a lock right here, and it's hard for you to even get any kind of leverage because his brother's and he's low. He's not 6'5". His center of gravity's low. Dominant, dominant. I actually thought
Mhm.
he should have got the MVP. Of course, they gave it to Cooper Kupp, who caught the he caught did he catch 2 touchdowns from Stafford, and 98 yards,
Yeah.
and he caught the winning one. And I guess, but Aaron Donald closed it out. Like it's defense once again. That's what I tell people. Defense has a job. Their job is to get off the field. It three downs, third down, fourth down. We got to make a play. We got to get off the field, right?
Man.
When you got a
Yep.
defense that's giving up first, second, first down, first, second, third, first down, and they're moving down the field, that defense is not doing its job. It's got to be some 3-and-outs in there. Maybe sometimes offense will get a little movement going, but you got to make a play. You got to get off the
Right.
field. So I thought Aaron Donald should have been the MVP of the game.
He
I
should
like
have been. He made plays when they counted, and he
right,
saved the game.
right. He won the
You know what
game
I'm
for.
saying? He pretty much iced it with that last tackle.
Yep, yep, yep. If you were watching the game and you agree, let me know. Let me know how you feel. I feel like he should have won MVP. I mean, the conversation shifted to Stafford, like Stafford, and by us being Packer fans, we've watched Stafford for years. And I've always thought Stafford was a good quarterback. Always.
Yeah.
I've always said Stafford because I've seen him light the Packers up. I've seen him light a lot of teams up, but playing in Detroit, like people said, it's a sticky situation. You playing in Detroit. For some reason, they've been saddled with failure for a long time. Um,
Exactly. What's going
but
on there?
and I didn't think he played great football. I didn't think Stafford. To me, he didn't make any kind of really super plays, right? Like I felt like Stafford was just like, what do they call him? Game manager in a certain sense. Now, because of their offense, he does have to make some throws. People say, well, he threw 3 touchdowns. Um, which is serviceable, I guess. You can't argue with that. But it wasn't like
Right.
he was making spectacular throws, though. Like Cooper
Yeah.
Kupp,
Three touchdowns and 2 interceptions. It kind of balances itself out.
there you go. Right, 2 interceptions as well. Yeah, I didn't. Now, I guess the
but
discussion is Stafford a Hall of Fame dude? Well, longevity, championships, that counts. But he it's not like he's ever been MVP. It's not like he's ever been. I think he's been all pro a couple times, but he's
right.
never been the best quarterback in the league, right? Um,
Right.
and I don't think he is right now. You talking about Brady just retired with 5,000 yards passing and 43 touchdowns. That's one season, right?
Yeah.
And so Stafford, he doesn't put those numbers up, but sometimes that's not what it
Sometimes you
takes.
do.
I just looked at a documentary about Terry Bradshaw, and they talk about, yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. He got 4 titles, but he was never, he had, 1978, I believe he was like the MVP of the league. And he had, I think at the time he set the record, and it was 24 touchdown passes.
Wow. That's
Right. Aaron Rodgers got that by game 5, right?
right. I was about to say that's week 8, week 6.
Right. They didn't throw the ball. They didn't throw the ball like that in the NFL back in the days. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
still, you think about it, 24 touchdowns. That'll get you cut nowadays, right?
Man,
You come up
wow.
like, I threw 24 touchdowns, man. People laughing at you. But no. So yeah, it was a good game. Okay, so now what's next? Okay, we get past the game. We get to the halftime show. I'm a hip hop dude, right?
Yeah.
Uh, hip hop is my soundtrack. I love every genre of black music. And at one point I've dedicated some sort of study or research to almost every form, from gospel to blues, simply because I believe music and conversation and poetry and rapping, I think all of this stuff flows together.
Yeah.
I've always been one of those people who have been fascinated by the power of the spoken word. Just just watching some individuals as I was growing up have mouthpieces that could move things. Like this dude can get it done. Like he can motivate people. He can, or his what
Yeah.
he spit is so slick and so smooth. You just oh so naturally rap music, was something that I latched on too early. Okay. And I'm setting this up, right? I'm setting this up.
Right.
uh, so we get a halftime show. We know we were pissed. I say we were pissed when Jay-Z took the job with the NFL, right? And one of the things that he was supposed to do is bring more urban entertainment, I guess a more urban perspective to the NFL. Well, we know he didn't bring no black coaches with him or no black owners and very few
That's
black
true.
executives. So
Yep.
at least bring some music, right? So last year I seen the whole what's my man name, The Weekend. Wasn't not really for me, not quite young enough for The Weekend. Was looking at it last year sideways, like, okay.
Yeah.
And then who did they bring out after? Like Miley Cyrus or somebody? I don't know. They brought somebody white,
Yeah.
right?
I just remember the Bruno Mars show. That's probably shit 3 4 years ago.
Was yeah, you know, and people got to understand the Super Bowl halftime show is a big deal. First of all, the Super Bowl is a big deal. 70 million people in that stadium last night. In the stadium, 70
Yeah.
million. I'm sorry, 70,000. I didn't say 70 million. Y'all gonna be like, God damn, 70,000 people for a game. And those tickets were at least a G a piece, at minimal, right? Unless you sat
Yeah.
damn near the roof and you probably still had to pay a stack for it. But 70,000 people in the stadium. What is it? I don't even know. Hundreds of millions. Have we reached a billion yet? Because it's a worldwide. This is playing in countries that don't even play American football.
Right.
That's how big this game.
Broadcasted all over the world.
Yeah. So to do the halftime show is a big deal. Now you don't get paid to do it. The
Like I
NFL,
said,
they don't pay
Dre paid $7 million
Dre out his own pocket.
out of his own pocket. He paid $7 million.
That's what they say. But I guess the exposure, your bookings, your streams, your whatever your face is on after this is
Yeah.
unstoppable for a good minute after that.
Yeah. I bet his catalog is moving right now.
Yeah, well,
I
Dre ain't
bet
got
Dre's catalog is moving.
Dre ain't got no problems in that area.
Yeah.
Dre, right?
Nice little uptick in sales
Oh
after
man,
that
all of
one.
Snoop. I was a little disappointed. Let me say this. I was a little disappointed because I wanted to see Ice Cube. Not really.
Everybody, yeah, a lot of people wanted to see too.
I didn't feel like 50 fit into what they was doing. Okay. And that's not to take 50 Cent's credit away as like a relevant cat in the rap game now. And, his business acumen. And, he had a movement. He had a time where he was that dude. But
Yeah.
we're talking about The Chronic. We're talking about Mary J. Blige, My Life. Even with Eminem, we're talking about, what's the song he did? Lose Yourself. We're talking about songs that and movements that lasted. And I think
Right.
50 kind of came with In the Club and then it kind of went down fast. This is just me. Some people love 50 Cent. And I don't have it wasn't whack. I just thought, how don't you have Cube or some other West Coast pioneer in there besides 50? But 50's a little bit younger. So maybe they wanted that demographic. I just wish it was Cube. I thought maybe it should have been Cube. What do you think about
That'd
the
be
halftime?
nice. I loved it. I loved it. I
Okay.
was thoroughly entertained. You know, I dug Mary J. Blige's set. She had a really nice set. Um, yeah, man, and Snoop, man, Snoop is my guy. Snoop is my guy, man. To me, he's the quintessential rapper slash entertainer.
Mm, okay.
Snoop got it locked right now, man. And it's not that he's a lyrical beast or anything like that. It's just that style in that voice, man. That smooth style in that voice. And Snoop is my guy.
Snoop has a thing about his personality that America just likes. I
You
mean,
know,
you
I
think
can
about
go to a Snoop Dogg concert and really enjoy myself.
Snoop. Snoop is a crazy pothead, and him and Don Big Magic Wand just had some accusations surfaced before the Super Bowl about a lady, and she said that they forced her to have oral sex with them.
Oh, they
People didn't get
mm.
people. Snoop has been on trial for murder. People love Snoop still. Like it's like it's just something about him that Snoop is. I'm a Crip, smoking a joint, right, throwing up gang signs, and nobody gives a shit. Like so, there's something about Snoop that it's rare entertainers that have it. It's like a Michael Jackson or Prince trait, where
Right.
Prince was like a weirdo. Like I think about the era I grew up in. Cats was starting to become hard, right? Like it was starting to get tough, but most of the thugs danced like Michael Jackson and loved Prince. And Prince was the
Yeah.
most gang. He even sounded like it was like, damn. Man, but
Man,
got that, he got that, man. Shout out to Joey Phillips. He
man.
said, yeah, bro, I thought they was gonna have an NWA moment, but they did their thing, and big ups to Snoop. You're right, JoJo. You're right. Big ups to hip hop. Big ups to hip hop because the art form ain't no secret. Now it hasn't been a secret for a long time, but this is hip hop for the whole world
Right.
to see. A stadium full of white people, right? Because these dudes now are artistic icons when it comes to culture in America. Like Snoop is an iconic dude. It ain't just
Right.
rap. He's an iconic dude. Lyrically, I could probably name 20 MCs who got better lyrics,
Man,
but
more than that.
they got more charisma. It's hard to find,
I'll admit it.
you know, that charisma, that charisma that you can
Yeah.
have as a rapper is something
Right.
else.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So
some guys got skill and some guys got they just got it.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Personality. Some guys got lyrical skill and some guys got more personality that comes through.
Man, it's a charisma thing. It's um also Snoop looks funny. I think just some people just looking at him saying like, man, he looked funny. Like what am I
Right.
saying? I'm saying that,
Right.
but we were watching. My wife and I were watching Fat Tuesday, which
Uh-huh.
is another great documentary y'all need to see. I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's about Guy Tori and the whole Fat Tuesday movement he had in LA in the 90s for stand-up comics. And basically it's an
Okay.
ode to Def Comedy Jam, that whole era of hip hop and comedy kind of joining. And then there was just this explosion of all black stand-up comics had TV shows and HBO specials from about 90, two when Def Comedy Jam came until I'll say 2000, early
Okay.
2000s when it kind of finally started to slow down. But they were on there, Snoop and Tiffany Haddish, and my wife and I just kept looking at Snoop saying, wow, he really looks funny. But this whole time he's blowing like game to his game. So yeah, man. And
He looked
Dr. Dre.
like Snoopy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. To me, he's never looked like Snoopy. I don't, So I didn't
Okay,
get
well,
the.
what about in the video when he morphs into the Doberman Pinscher?
I
He looks
always
more like a Doberman Pinscher, I guess.
it's that there's that thing again. Like, what am I looking at? Like, what is this? But just in terms of rap, like you said, when we think about rap, especially '90s rap and gangster rap, Snoop it pops up, right? So yeah,
Man,
and you got Dr. Dre. We know Dre has had his issues with women, and he's going through the divorce, and we remember what he did to D Barnes back. I'm saying all this to say they all have issues. All the artists, like, so people would just, well, why did he shouldn't even be able to do that? We got to stop trying to crucify everybody because they made a mistake once upon a time. Like, that's something that we do. We got to stop doing it.
Right.
Mary J. I love Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige to me is another. When you talk about hip hop, what Mary J. Blige did with R&B was unparalleled, unprecedented. Like, no, that mixture. Now, once again, is Mary the greatest singer you'll ever hear? Not by a long shot,
No.
right? And that's cool. That's cool. Like, I'm a Jasmine Sullivan fan. Like, I like Kiki Wyatt. And,
Right. I've been listening to Jasmine a lot lately.
Yeah,
I like her recently. I've been listening to some of her stuff lately.
Jasmine, but I don't. Beyonce is harmonious. I don't think she's the greatest singer. Rihanna's okay, but you have a few sisters still around who really can put it on. And Mary just, she's never been that. But what her perspective is hip hop. Her moods, how she's kind of always brought her personal feelings to the track. So it makes Mary a GOAT. And I like when she tried to hit a high note during the performance, I kind of cringed, like, you know what I mean? I was kind of like,
right.
Right. So it was okay. But, I kind of wish Mary had done some different songs. Of course, she done the Drake joint, but to me, she should have did like Be Happy or something. I don't know. Because that's too sad for the Super Bowl. But she did No More Pain, which is like, damn, this is some sad shit. So
right. Yeah. So I guess she did the songs that Drake produced.
Okay.
I would assume.
Okay. I didn't know. I know. Yes, he did. I didn't know he did the other one. Okay. Maybe that's what it was. Y'all see the number. It's the Big Black Sports Show on a Tuesday night, just a little bit after 8:00. Me and my partner, Mr. Purdue, Coach Tank, in here talking shit, following spit, man. Share the show, hit like, hit share, hit follow. Don't be no hater. Be a motivator. Be a congratulator. And ultimately, you'll become a participator, right? I just made all that shit up just now, right? But yeah, and then, okay, so Eminem comes on. Once again, I kind of feel like, there's some MCs that you could have put there instead of Eminem. If this was, because I feel like if this was a West Coast thing, Eminem and 50 Cent, and most of the, by and large, Mary doesn't necessarily belong. Okay, so it wasn't necessarily West Coast, even though you had Kendrick, Snoop, and Dre.
Right. Eminem, you gotta have Eminem though. That's one of Dre's biggest artists. That is his biggest artist, I think.
So this is about Dre then. This is about Dre. That's what.
The show, Dre was the headliner.
Okay.
He was the headliner.
And he brought his Okay, I get what you're saying.
He brought everybody under his umbrella.
Okay.
Well, not everybody, but yeah, you're right, man. I agree though. He did. There was a few people that he could have brought along for the ride. Game was upset.
Yeah, well,
Game was upset, but I don't remember anything that the Game did with Dre that was significant though. What did Game put out with Dre that was bumping?
That first album, I think, was the majority produced by Dre. I will say, I have to say this as a rap fan, I enjoy Game's music more than 50 Cent's. Like I really was not a 50 Cent rap fan. Like I like 50 Cent for his business, how he's been able to keep himself relevant. And for the moves he's made, it shows you that you come in here as a rapper, you better know how to do something else. You better know how to walk and chew bubble gum at the same goddamn time. So I've always thought 50 was a real smart dude who knew, man, that brother got the game down because he's, but his music wise, like people put Get Rich or Die Trying up there. It's not even in my top 20 for hip hop albums all time. So, and Eminem, I've never purchased an Eminem album. Technically, flow wise, Eminem is a better rapper than a lot of these cats. But it's that, once again, now we start talking about the personality, the charisma, because I'd rather listen to Doggy Style than the Marshall Matters LP. I'd rather hear Snoop. Snoop's new shit. The latest music, I play the one with him and Cocaine all the time. I listen to it all the time. Don't put smut on my name. Put smut on my name. And the thing he did with the Mount Westmore, he got some dope stuff over there. Snoop has released a lot of dope music over the last 5, 6 years. Eminem stuff to me is still like, nah, I'm too old now to be hearing you talk about the problems you got with your mama and you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
so I said that to say I wasn't like, oh, like most people were when Eminem came out. I'm like, no Cube. That's what I kept saying. No Cube. Okay, Cube coming next. He never came. But um Eminem kneeled, which was, I guess they were under some sort of instruction not to do so. I don't know if this was by the NFL or whoever was in charge. It supposedly allegedly told them not to kneel, and I guess Eminem did. Um
right,
this is kind of like how I start with the Super Bowl. I'm watching this game and I'm knowing this is still the NFL where Colin Kaepernick never got to throw a football again. Um, you had one black coach in the NFL last year, and I have to say, if there wasn't a lawsuit by the brother Brian Flores, I'm not sure that brothers would be getting hired now.
right,
Your commissioner had to come out and say, "Hey, this is unacceptable. What we're doing here is unacceptable." It's a very racist league, right? I
right,
think you have to separate the organization from the game because I absolutely positively love football. It saved my life more than once. But when we talk about the NFL and we talk about the racist good old boy network that owns and operates the NFL, so when he kneels, it is kind of like a reminder that, okay, let's not forget, y'all, this happened. But he
right,
did it, and none of the brothers did it, right? So my
right.
question is, those brothers have come so far in building up their brands. Were they scared that if they did that, they would lose endorsements? I don't think Snoop would fear that. I think because Snoop just came out and said he challenges the cancel culture. He said, my fan base is bigger than your cancel culture. So
Right.
right, that's Snoop, right? What he said, his name is Super Bowl Snoop. He was here, I guess today or last night, and
Snoop
some
was?
yeah, Snoop was, and some young brother called him. He was up on Facebook with him, like, yeah, Milwaukee, come down. I guess he was here promoting something. I seen it on Facebook. I may or may
Oh,
not have put it in the People's News Network. I probably did though. But so okay, Eminem's he took a knee. That's admirable. Eminem made the biggest social statement in the cipher at the BET Awards a couple of years ago when they had, and I don't know if you remember, he came out and he did this whole thing where his was just socially conscious. It's cool. Thanks, Eminem. Um, you know, I'm just like, because we always say white people come and say, what can I do? What can I do? Well, you really, all you can do is talk to other white people. You can't do nothing for me.
right.
So if this is Eminem saying to other white people, like, look, okay, we on some bullshit, y'all, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just I'm a hater, right, for Eminem. So maybe my hate for him has kind of, fucked up my perspective. What you think about Eminem and
Well,
his just Eminem period and his whole involvement with the situation?
I think it was necessary. He's Dre's biggest artist. Um, yeah, and I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed this part of the show. Of course, I didn't see the kneel down, but I also realized they were upset with. They're also upset with Dre for saying the line in "Still Dre," still not fucking with the police. And I
Right.
remember hearing him say that. But the NFL didn't want him to say that either, and he said that. And there was another line, there was another lyric that was said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, the
Those are
NFL disapproved of, and they did it anyway.
there's a couple of them. As a matter of fact, white people were pissed off this morning. God damn it. God damn. I didn't tune in for this.
you
Wait a minute.
know,
You tune in to see grown ass men try to cripple other grown men, but you don't want to hear no cussing.
right, right,
we
right.
don't we don't want to see, we don't want it to be sexist. We don't want to see cheerleaders, but every other commercial is Viagra. Like, America is fucking crazy when it comes to shit like that, right? Like that's why, this is why I love and I wanted to do a show about sports. This is why I said I got to do something and talk about sports, because America is absolutely hypocritical when it comes to fucking sports, right? This ain't
Right.
got shit. Look, we talking about right now, Sha'Carri Richardson, the sister who was caught. She got caught. She smoked some weed. She got caught. She couldn't run. You know, you wanted to give her a pass. That's the rule. You got caught. Now is this European? I believe she German, East German. I had to go grab
Russian skater.
Russian. Okay,
Yep.
and she takes supposedly a banned drug for a heart condition, right? But she's caught. She's caught. It's on their list of banned substances, and she's allowed to participate. Right. I don't hear half the bullshit I heard when Sha'Carri got caught, and people were saying, well, because they looking at marijuana like that couldn't be medicinal. You're still stuck on your racist perspective when it comes to drugs and how that thing is going, how that goes in America. Oh, you don't understand. That might have been her therapy. Like she may have been
Right.
depressed. She was dealing with some shit. I'm not giving her excuses either because she should have
Right.
knew.
Right. Is the drug that she's using, is that performance enhancing? Is
No,
marijuana enhances her performance? Okay. Now the drug that the Russian girl used. Is there any way that we can find out that that drug is in some way performance enhancing or some type of drug that you can use to recover quickly? You know what I'm saying? What there's
supposedly
a difference. There is a difference there.
I know, but supposedly the drug that the Russian young lady was using is supposed to help her with her heartbeat.
Right.
But from what I seen, they say it can be used to manipulate the heartbeat, which I guess would then assist with recovery time. I'm no bioscientist, right? Like, so if you know
Right.
and you out there, don't be sitting around, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, put in the chat room or
Chime
call
in.
it, right?
Chime in. Let us know.
It's basically what we look at when we say performance enhancing. Is this something you could take that would alter a natural body function? The answer is
Right.
yes. So Sha'Carri couldn't run. Okay, so this is what I'm saying when it comes to sports. America wants it one way. It's like when the NBA players did the whole thing in the bubble, and the Bucks was like, we ain't playing, and white people say, just dribble the ball. Like nobody asked you shit. Just shoot the ball, and then it's like, but time, at the same time, these industries that you're talking about generate billions of dollars. So it's like, okay, now we got athletes who want to speak out, want to be vocal. And you know, you can only go so far before corporate America and the right wing and the Me Too and all these other motherfuckers
Right.
out here who swear that they know right from wrong and they don't know sheep shit from wild honey. They always out here trying to tell you what to say and how to say it, right? So that's
Right.
why I look at sports and I say this is dumb. I mean, it's dumb. Like it's so yeah, Dre said still not fucking with the police, whatever. You know, and maybe that's why Cube didn't come because Cube is like, if I do my shit, I'm doing my shit, right? Like the NFL, because I guarantee you, if you put a microphone on that field, you're gonna hear way worse shit than any rap song. And I'm telling you, as a
Man.
former football player, it's going down up front. I can remember how it was in my little college thing, so I can imagine in the pros, it's much saucier. It's people up there saying some of everything. So
Oh man, you get to hear some sound bites from time to time, and yeah, they get a little spicy with each other. You can say that
yeah,
much.
yeah. I mean, but you know, but at the same time, kids are watching, whatever. Yeah, but you know, parents, you have the right to say, hey, this is gonna be Dre and Snoop at halftime. You go in your room or something, right? People shouldn't have to do that. But you knew who you invited. You knew who you invited to perform. So, and I seen they had the footage of Snoop sneaking off, hitting a joint and shit. Like, I'm gonna be high. Right.
Right.
Once again, you
While
surprised.
doing the show.
Right. You invite Snoop somewhere and then be standing around talking about, man, y'all smell some weed. Nigga, you invite. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use that word, but you know, we can say it on Outlaw Radio. We can say it on the Big Black,
Right.
but we just choose not to use it a lot. But yeah. So yeah, man, it was crazy that America, middle America. I feel like there's people in America who just look for some shit to complain about. Like they literally and the way now with NBA players have had these situations where they got to deal with fans who sitting 5 feet away. Bum, nigger,
Right.
boy. Yeah. But don't Dre, you shouldn't cuss at halftime of a football game. Right? So, whatever. NFL like
Right.
shit, we in enough trouble. We can't shut all this shit down. Like we only had 1.5 black coach. Damn, give us some credit. So yeah, man,
Right.
good halftime show. Kendrick Lamar, um, okay, okay, you know, I feel like there's some young West Coast artists that could have been there, but I don't think any of them have sold the units or brought the uh, uh, exposure back to LA and Compton like Kendrick. Kendrick got
Right.
crossover appeal without compromising himself. I just hope Kendrick don't get too weirdo on me because on the Pimp a Butterfly was starting to get a little abstract, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
Kendrick, I goddamn now, slow down. So I'm just hoping he can, walk that line. But it was dope. It was a good, once again, young hip hop, old hip hop, middle with 50. So because 50 got a lot of fans. I'm not
Yeah,
one
you
of them,
do.
you know. And like I say, not one of them because I've never purchased any of his music. So I only consider myself your fan if I've purchased your music before. Like I've
Right.
never purchased a Kanye West album. So when Kanye West do all the weirdo shit and all this kind of stuff, like people say, yeah, that's your boy. Not really. Not never purchased a Kanye West album. Never purchased an Eminem
Hey,
album. So
I bought the first two Kanye albums. I haven't purchased anything of his since.
okay. Well, at least you can say you are a true fan, though. You have, at one
You
point,
know.
I ain't
Oh,
even shit.
and I do have the gospel album because there is one song on his gospel album that I do like. It's actually pretty hard.
Right. And
Got the
I'm gonna
name
be
on it,
honest with you. It's not. I'm not. I say that, but I'm not saying Kanye ain't dope. Like Kanye got some songs I dig. The I guess 2 Chains produced by Kanye. The birthday, all I want for my birth. That's to
but
me one of the greatest videos I've ever seen. And then
gotta
the
watch that.
song is good. Oh, it's
I gotta
ridiculous.
watch that one.
Great video. All I want for my birthday. It's actually where I seen 2 Chain for the first time and paid him attention. Said, I'm gonna check dude out. That's how I figured out 2 Chains has bars. People don't even
Yeah, 2 Chains is
they don't
dope.
give 2 Chains credit for that. Like he got bars, right? But I'm digressing like a motherfucker, but right. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, but Kendrick, it was a good look. Kendrick was cool. I felt like he probably
Yeah.
should have a different song, but they didn't ask Kev. They didn't ask me. They asked Jay, right? So that was the halftime show. What you think about Kendrick? Because I don't know if you're up on your youngsters. Maybe J. Cole for
No,
me, but Kendrick done sold more records. What you think about
I
Kendrick?
love Cole. Kendrick is dope. I've been following his career. I was following his career before Draven picked him up. I remember he used to be he was underground for years. He was
Okay.
underground for years, man. He was bubbling underground. He was coming up under man, that guy in Slaughterhouse that's from LA, Crooked Eye. He
Oh,
was kind
okay.
of coming up from he was kind of coming well, he did some songs with Crooked Eye, I remember, some underground stuff. And then
Okay.
he hooked up with Dre, and Dre put him where he's at today.
Good
They
look.
helped
It's a
him
good.
get to where he's at today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
like
so
Kendrick, man. Kendrick is dope.
so the second half they come out, the Rams and the Bengals, and
Yep.
like you said, it's a close game at halftime. I was still surprised that the Bengals for a young team because usually young teams they can't stop the run, uh, you know, and I feel like the coach for McVay from LA. I feel like he's a really smart offensive coach. So I figured he would come with a scheme to be able to run the ball, but the Bengals was just like, no, you're not running the pill. Like they was really
That
locking down.
line.
Yeah, they were locking down, but then Burrow hit, like I said, he hit your man for the touchdown, which was a push off, right? Come on.
Yep.
But then they really didn't do much after that. They completed some passes, but man, this is when the LA Rams front seven just said game over. Okay. They basically shut the door on him and beat him up a little bit, had him limping off the field.
Yep.
Um, so defense wins championships, defense closes the door. Of course,
Man.
Stafford gets the game winning drive to Cup. Um, Cup is a white receiver, right? Like it's hard to
Uh,
cheer for a white wide receiver. Like you, nobody gives his. You don't hear nobody saying, "Oh man, throw it to me. I'm Cooper Cup." Nobody says that. You say you got Moss, Jerry Rice. You know what I mean? You holler out your receiver. Boy, I'm finna put the Andre Rison on you. Nobody says, "Man, I'm like Cooper Cup." Like nobody says that. Nobody.
Nobody says you got large in it. You got large in it. You, you got
Either, right?
you got Edelman. You got Edelman. You got hold
Right.
on. Hold on. There's some great. Well,
There's been
there's
a
a
lot of
few.
good white wide receivers, but nobody is like checking for them. You could be a tight end, right? Like you could be a tight end. White tight ends get Mark Bravura. Well, not Mark Shamura who's in the team. What's the
Mark
boy name?
Schwartz.
Mark Shamura. Remember the Packer dude who was like all Republican, and then he's in the tub with the teenagers
Right.
chilling.
At the prom night.
Mark, what Mark Bavaro was from the '80s, looking like Rocky and shit. Used to play for the Giants. Hey, Mark Bavaro,
Yeah.
right? Nobody cares about a white wide receiver. So I don't know. White people like, see, y'all racist too. Yeah, sometimes, right? Like if we can't play quarterback, y'all can't play wide receiver. Let's put or cornerback, right? Like rarely see a white corner in the league. I remember Jason Sehorn, and I
Right.
used to be like, wow, a white corner. But yeah, so Cooper Cup, man, he makes the game winning touchdown. All in all, not a bad Super Bowl. I'm still just pissed off with the NFL. No matter what happens, and they had a great playoff. This was a good, all your home seeds, top seeds lost, which means you have hungry young talent. It's like a changing of the guard because you see this young generation of quarterbacks, Allen, Burrow, Mahomes. You see all these young quarterbacks,
Well,
and they,
Herbert and sent
yeah,
Chargers. Herbert.
for LA,
Yeah,
no doubt, real beast. People, if you haven't seen Herbert for the Chargers, real beast. And you still got your cars and some of them dudes who ain't old, but they've been around. You know, you still
yeah.
got a lot. You got a lot. Lamar Jackson. I don't want to leave him out. I'm not totally sold on Lamar. People can't have you. Lamar, you got to. I seen you missing check downs, bro. You got to throw the ball. You can't run around like
Right.
that forever. So you got to throw the pill, cuz you got to throw the pill.
Yeah,
Um,
he's got to find a way to stay, be a little more consistent too
right.
with his throws.
So where we going? I know that, like I said, this it starts about repeat. Who's good? The Rams have a tough hill to climb because they got a gazillion dollars worth of talent. They're already over
Right.
the salary cap, and they don't
That
have any
and
first round, any draft picks.
ooh,
So,
that's not
so you
good.
right. So whatever you lose via free agency is going to be kind of hard to replace. I know the tight end and Aaron Donald were talking about retiring. I don't think Aaron
Hmm.
Donald will retire, first of all. And I don't think that there was Bigby, the tight end. I don't think he'll retire. I just think some of those players who don't have those big contracts are going to get offers, and then they'll bounce.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I think you got Jalen Ramsey and you got all, but it's some dudes who, did some dirty work that got to get paid too.
I mean,
Um,
if they lose Von Miller and Aaron Donald retires, they got some work to do
I
on
don't
their
think either one
defense.
of them will retire though.
You think they'll both come back?
Yeah.
If they both come back, man, that defense is going to be solid.
If LA can pay them, I think they'll come back. The problem is you're going to lose something else because, every time you overpay for something, you underpay for something else. So the back end is very important. You in the NFL, you got to be able to play nickel. You got to be able to play dime. You got to have exotic coverages where you can put 6 DBs on the field and stuff like that, right? So
Right.
you got to be careful when you start. Oh, just give it to him. Wait, hold on. He get injured. Now you slow on the back end, and they doubling and tripling and chipping and cutting up here. We getting bombed
Right.
out. So,
Right.
they said that the Chiefs have the greatest odds of repeating next year because they still, of coming back in the Super Bowl. I shouldn't say repeating. I should say coming back to the Super Bowl because they got Mahomes and they got most of their main talent locked in. I think the Chiefs have to improve on their defense, and that's very hard when you got a whole bunch of money being spent on the offensive side of the ball. So
Right.
that's going to be something to see. Um, Buffalo. That boy Allen is nice. Like he's
No, no, that's the team to worry about. To me in the AFC, Buffalo. I think
okay.
Buffalo is going to be much better next year.
Hmm. Yeah, no doubt. Um, and it's funny to say, but I have to say Dallas has per person more talent than a lot of teams. I'm not a
Yep.
Dallas Cowboy fan. As a matter of fact,
Me
I'm actually happier than Stephen A. Smith when they lose because their fans are so. Yeah, I'd rather see the Bears and the Vikings lose, but I'm not mad when the Cowboys lose. Let's put it.
right, right.
But in terms of talent, the Cowboys are loaded. So one player here and there, they are very close. And then I noticed the Packers were fourth. And I was like, well, how is that even look? But then, so now I guess the discussion is they are preparing to offer Aaron Rodgers a shitload of money and spread it out over time. And supposedly, allegedly, he's considering this, saying, I'm going to retire or I'm going to play here. There's always the rumors about Denver and other places, and you never know what's going to happen in
Right.
the NFL. But there's, I guess, allegedly a chance that he may stay in Green Bay. What you think about that? I know that's your man's.
I mean, I think he should stay. I think he should stay. I don't think. I think he's got unfinished business here. When you really look at his career as a whole, he's underachieved, man. He's got one Super Bowl. He should have three, at
Okay.
least three. You know what I'm saying? And I also think that he's at the point where he's only got at least a good, man, maybe 2 good years left to me. He could probably play another 3 or 4, but that's pushing it. I mean, to right now, I think he can give us another year. He can give us the same type of MVP like year that he did last year. I think he got one more of those in him. I think if we just keep a good team around him, and shit, maybe tweak some coaching, we'll make it to the big game. But yeah,
I
until he makes it, if he doesn't make it to another Super Bowl by the time he retires, I think he's overrated.
I don't. You know what? When it comes to Aaron Rodgers, I don't. I could never say number one. He's overrated. I think Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback in 40 years.
Really?
Unfortunately, I've in terms of arm talent, and if you're a football guy, right? Like, and we're both football guys, right? And I know
Right?
it's plenty of y'all out there, right? In listening land. Arm talent wise, Aaron Rodgers has done some things that you just have not seen like you ain't seen people who nobody could do them except for him. Unfortunately, he was in a situation where the Packers sat on their hands. They sat on their thumbs for a long time defensively. Now,
Right.
they had, if you remember, after that Super Bowl run, and then the next year there was a defensive crash in the playoffs. And just like, dude, I think it was the Seahawks. It was the next year.
Yep.
And they went in that draft and they did all defense. And for like a couple drafts after that, there were heavily defensive drafts. None of them cats is on the team or in the league right now. Right. We go back 5, 6 drafts. Dudes, it just they hit on Kenny Clark. They've hit here and there, right? Like so, Jair, you hit the boy Lucas, but it's a new regime. But
Yeah.
the Packers drafted poorly, and then they didn't get the free agents defensively because that's not what they do. Ted Thompson
Right.
was playing money ball. All the money went on Aaron Rodgers. You had Jordy Nelson. You had who was the back then? I can't remember. Shit. I want to say Amon Green, but that's too far back.
I
Um,
remember Ty Montgomery.
right. You had Ryan Grant. You had all those. It was cats getting money. You had Donald Driver. You had offensive linemen who were getting paid. But
Yeah.
the defense was it was it's a gut bucket. So Aaron Rodgers is like part of that, but also Aaron Rodgers has never played great in the playoffs. There's even when they won the Super Bowl, he didn't play his greatest games, right? So I think he has a lot to prove as a playoff quarterback. I, for one, am saying to the Packers, if you trade him, get some value for him because you're going to save a lot of money. Now you'll have money to spend in other places and spread it out a little bit better. And I say it's not that big of a loss because, like you just said, he got a couple years left. It's this is year 17. You 37. You you talking about you want to play till you 45? Hold on, player. Come on, man. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So we'll see. I think they could. I think the Packers will be okay either way. I think if they let him go, they'll be okay. I think if they keep him, they'll be okay. What they need to do is go and find a vertical threat at receiver. Devontae's great, but he does not take the top off the defense. He's not somebody who's going to expose the safety unless he runs a clever route. Most of the stuff Devontae runs takes a while. That's why Aaron Rodgers gets the shit knocked out of him trying to hold on to the ball. I'm not saying he's not a great receiver, but he's not a burner. Valdez-Scantling is a burner. They need to re-sign him and make
he's too injury prone though. He's hurt all the time.
He's a receiver. He's
hurt all the time though. We need somebody that can play. That's gonna hang in there. That's gonna give us stability at least in the slot. Give us some stability. How about that game? Okay, the game the COVID game where Aaron Rodgers was out and the backup kid had to play.
Jordan Love.
Okay, now we were exposed as to where the two-man game between Rodgers and Adams.
Okay.
I don't want to break that up because those two work perfectly together. You know what I'm saying? Their route running, they got a really good connection. You know what I'm saying? It's like Aaron knows exactly where to put that ball at in certain situations where Adams didn't have that. He didn't have that. I'm sorry, but Adams didn't have that connection with the kid.
Right.
When he was playing.
Unless it's the playoffs, that perfect connection that you talking about don't work. Like,
I mean, but usually, 13-3.
Right.
13-3. I mean,
regular season.
Regular season, but you got to play the regular season to get to the playoffs.
You've lost at home consecutive. It's not even, now we talk about the frozen tundra. It's not even a thing anymore. Like, we got to go to Green Bay for the playoffs. It's like, so you go in there. Colin Kaepernick came in here. What do you have? 190 yards rushing. I remember Mike Vick coming to Lambeau whooping the Packers' ass. I remember Donovan McNabb on a 4th and a 26 completing the pass. This is all at Lambeau. The mystique is gone because your quarterback is not a killer.
Right. It's all on Rodgers' clock. It's all on his watch.
Favre was a killer. And, it's a shame we lost that one. We lost to John Elway. But Aaron Rodgers, once again, I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL, but he ain't no killer. You notice when they get up 28 to, it'd be 28-6 and the Packers is, and then next thing you know, it's 28-16. And it's like, okay, the defense is giving up points. Kill him, finish him off. And it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's and he's walking with this look on his face. I'm like, shit, what you looking at me for? I don't know either. So I feel like Matthew Stafford just showed you put that money into your defense and you get a serviceable quarterback and a serviceable set of receivers, you can win a title. You don't have to have the bell of the ball playing quarterback because they're divas. Like don't get me wrong, a great quarterback is welcome to have, but come on, man. A lot of times with their salary and with their demands and all this stuff, they kind of hold a franchise hostage. So I'm saying if Aaron's gonna stay, he need to, spread out some of his money, restructure, and if he has a word in the deals, in the moves, the personnel moves, I think he needs to be sensible and make them, and don't do it like trying to bring back old ass. They saying who they gonna pay? Lazard, Scantling, Valdez-Scantling, Adams. Well, you got to pay Lazard, you got to pay Adams, and you have to pay Scantling. I'm not sure. What's his name? Cobb. I'm not sure he should have been here anyways.
No, I think he was a favorite of Favre. Him coming back was a favorite of Favre.
Favorite of Rodgers. Yeah, it's Rodgers.
I'm sorry, Rodgers. I'm saying Favre.
I'm sure Favre like him too, but
right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Right. No, Cobb if he's gonna come back for a budget, like what? Yeah, if he gonna come back like that, yeah. But he ain't no.
He Carlton, he can we can let him go. Like you said, we need a speedster. We need somebody that can stretch the field. We
Right.
need one of those. We need one of them boys from Alabama.
Well, I don't know, and that was my next point when we talk about, since this is the Big Black Sports Show and we talk about sports from a black perspective. What in Green Bay? What does black players who come up there, potential free agents, they come there and they like, I'm not fucking living here. This is crazy as shit. I'm not living here, right? It get how cold, man. I was born and raised in
Right,
Florida or Louisiana or Texas or whatever. Sometimes you just got to say, well, here go what one of your checks will look like, and be like, shit, I'm finna buy a coat,
right.
mama. Look, don't worry, But
You don't gotta live here. You can just stay here for the season.
the Packers as an organization are a conservative kind of organization, and they don't want a certain kind of black man. That's why a lot of free agents I'm not, I'm too loud for Green Bay. Like I want to go somewhere where it's popping, where I can find some black people shit. And it's like, dude, I play in Green Bay. Like, what you gonna do after the game? I'm going home. I'm sure some of them fly out or whatever, go to Chicago or whatever. They know not to come to Milwaukee; they'll get their asses robbed.
That's
So
true.
yeah.
That's true.
And, I have to stop too. If you're listening right now to the Big Black Sports Show, I meant to say this earlier. I want you to understand an 80-year-old was shot in Milwaukee during a robbery. An 80-year-old resident was shot, right? And it kind of makes what we're doing here talking about sports, yes, cool. I mean, and of course we're going to discuss this on Outlaw Radio tomorrow night. Make sure you tune in 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But an 80-year-old, we had a 10-year-old who was murdered over the weekend, right? And we have an
Right,
8-year-old who shot. Not, I guess there's a robbery of some sort. I think we have to get to a point as a city where we make up our mind that we have to do something, all of us collectively, about the violence, right? Like we talk about stolies and we talk about stuff like that. There's all kinds of issues in our city, but when you see 80-year-olds, 10-year-olds, right? Like I spoke up when it was women. Like I did my time on the silly side, as they say, and one
right,
of our things was always, women and kids have nothing to do with what's going on. I'm not gonna say that was always honored, because family members have been lost in the crossfire of a lot of drama, like because it's all dumb anyways. It's
right.
all stupid. And I really would like to say that I've been saying mental health, mental health, mental health, trauma, trauma, trauma. I'm starting to really think about the fact that this comes down to a spirit of cowardice. There are a lot of cowards in our city. And when I say coward, I'm not just talking about scared to fight or scared to shoot. I'm talking about scared to be responsible, scared to be held accountable, scared to do what they're supposed to do, scared to stand up and be real men, which means having an honor code, having a moral compass, not really going crazy because you want a couple dollars here and there. There's no monetary amount you can put on any human being's life. You say, yeah, $1 million. It's not enough for a life.
Right.
Because if you got $1 million, you can do a lot of things, but you can't recreate life. You can't make life. And say you can if you get a chick and no, I mean, you can't go buy the components with all the money you got and say, okay, I built me a human. So that means there's no monetary value on life. There's no real reason for you as an individual to ever take anyone else's life. You don't have the right. It's not your God-given right. And it's wrong on that level. But then as a community, as a group of people who really need to be sticking together, learning how to love each other, right? Sound
That's
corny
right.
as shit, but that's what we really need to be focused on. That's the whole thing about these sports that we talk about on this show, because we can get together and we can talk and we can debate and we can say, yeah,
Right.
man, this or that. We need to do that when it comes to community issues. We need to be like, you respect me and I respect you. When I say Jordan is better than LeBron, no, LeBron's better. I respect your opinion. I understand what camp you on. We ain't gonna fight about it. We need to
Right.
start employing that kind of thing in the community, right? You wear yours to the right, I wear mine to the left. It is what it is, because in the middle is the truth. And that's where black
Right.
people live at. We live in the real world, right? So I'm saying it is a damn shame that an 80-year-old and a 10-year-old and however, whoever, Nobody should be dying because you can't get in the bar. Nobody should be dying because you're trying to rob somebody for what they have on them, right? The average person in the days of cards or whatever, I don't know if you're trying to rob another dope dealer or whatever, people don't carry a whole lot of cash, bro. Right? Like, so
Right.
you
Right.
robbing somebody for $50 and an 80-year-old ends up being shot, right? You are part of the problem. You part of the problem. And I'm running out of patience with you, right? I'm getting to the point where I want to say, just lock them all up, even though I know that cannot be the answer, because I know a lot of y'all will be saved from these kinds of issues if the socioeconomic conditions were better. I just want to take a moment to recognize the tragedy of 80-year-old elders in our community being shot, 10-year-old babies losing their lives. Our community is a tragic place right now, right? It's a tragic.
It's terrible, man.
So I had to say that because we're talking about sports, and I know that's people say, well, that's just a distraction, kid. I understand that. I mean, like I said, Black people live in the real world. So when the Super Bowl goes off and the halftime show is over, it's back to your reality, right? No matter how high you got during the game and missed the most obvious pass interference call ever. Hit me up. Let me know how y'all feel. Y'all see that number, 262-202-5131. Outlaw Radio is on Mondays. Tuesdays is the Big Black Sports Show. We coming back with Outlaw Radio tomorrow night. And I'm telling you, I'm in the mood. Outlaw Nation is coming. These are the kinds of things we're going to be able to throw up in the air on Outlaw Nation, right? So stay tuned for that. But yeah, man, my bad, Tank. I got away from sports. You like, God damn.
No problem. No problem at all, man. It needs to be spoken of. Needs to be spoken about.
Yeah.
Got to talk about those things, man, because this shit is crazy, man. 80 years old.
Yeah, 80 years old.
You know?
Right? And I'm still in mourning over Mo, over Mike Jones Jr., Lil Mo. So
yeah. Rest in peace, Mike. Rest in peace, Mike.
Still reeling from that. Still reeling from
414 Little Mo.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, man.
Dan Carson, like all these youngsters who I've worked with, just getting victimized. And so something in this city. There's a spirit that needs to be removed. It's a very hateful vibe in Milwaukee, though.
Right.
And I understand why. I understand that we here, for the most part, are low achieving, right? Like shout out to Michael G. He always tells me, he says, Barnes, the problem with everybody in Milwaukee is they want to be the tallest midget. What does that mean, Mike? But when I think about it, like people here, we feel like, I mean, because who's famous from here? What is our city known for? Type shit, right? You go somewhere and you say, I'm from Milwaukee, and you say, oh, that's where the dude who ate all them people came from.
Yep.
Ain't that where they made Happy Days? But they didn't actually make Happy Days here.
Right. Man, I mean, when I first moved to California, Barnes, that was the first thing the dudes would tell me. Oh, you from where? Milwaukee. Oh, Happy Days. Laverne and Shirley. Like, damn.
Type right.
We ain't known for nothing.
So people here kind of have this mentality. We as much ghetto and trifling dysfunction as we have in our city, I feel like we should have had 20 dudes to be triple, quadruple platinum from the city of Milwaukee in terms of the rap game. And shout out to Baby Drew and Cuckoo and every other brother. I don't want to miss none of you brothers who does it. Hey, I mean, what about me? I made I-94 design. Like,
you remember that one?
Oh,
Shout out E-Play Smooth.
Oh, man. Shout out you better think twice, Ice Moan and right. So even like Powerhouse, like y'all whole thing, like people don't during that time in Milwaukee, that's who we had, right? Like so, but I'm just saying, like, there's nobody who's put a stamp on it. Like what we do right now with the People's Network is because when I go on YouTube, I see other cities represented. I see people from those places. I don't see them from here, right? We all in our city do different things with our podcasts and our productions and our content, whatever, but we got to get unified, right? We need to get together and make this shit happen. So that's why, we do the Big Black Sports Show and we do all of this. I know it ain't got nothing to do with sports. I just had to, I can't help myself sometimes.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, if you got any concerns or I'm sorry, comments or anything about anything we talked about, the Packers, Super Bowl, halftime show, chime in. It ain't no wrong time. It's time we start looking at these Bucks. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Two
we got
game slide.
and an ass whooping at the hands of the Suns.
Mm,
Ooh. Yeah.
mm. Don't look
Expo-
good right now.
exposed. I'm very happy. I think the Ibaka deal is a good thing. I think
Yes.
we had this discussion and I won, Tank, because you said a guard, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
said a
said we
big.
need a guard.
I said a big who could play defense and bring some toughness. Um, the Bucks are soft as baby shit in the middle. I guess that's just like how is that how we would say it in the hood? Like they saw it is softer than baby shit, right? In the middle, you could score 100 points on the Bucks in the middle, and I say it's because of Brook Lopez and his absence. Um, some other brothers disagree. I thought Brook he brought a certain level of rim protector to the to that position, but also it kind of opened Giannis up to play defense. It gave him a little bit more flexibility because Giannis is
Right.
not a classic matchup for under the basket playing defense. I think Giannis needs to play defense on the wing or on like right in that you know right in that 15-foot area. I don't necessarily think he should be tasked with taking on Embiid, even though they go at it. But I think there should be another big man to help him out with that, so we can use his flexibility.
Yeah, he does need help. But
Okay.
Giannis chooses to be a rim protector though. He goes after a lot of shots.
Yeah, but he
You know,
blocks you from behind. He's not. I'm saying like Brook Lopez playing with his back to the basket, playing defense.
right,
Just come in here, I'm swatting you. He because he starts shooting threes, people forgot how many blocks he would have and how many rebounds he would get. The Bucks are just so soft in the middle. Shout out to Ladella Greer. Shout out to Samantha Collier too. I see you, my sister. She said that part when I was going on
throw
my
the water.
about the violence. Ladella Greer said we miss PJ and Brooke. You damn right we do.
Yeah.
Um, we miss them both, and
Well,
PJ especially, but Brooke really because Brooke brought a
okay,
scoring
now
to it.
hold on. How much do we miss PJ? Because he got cooked in the playoffs. He was tough. But man, KD was cooking PJ in the playoffs.
Did you say KD? Did you really?
KD,
Did you
he
say
was
KD?
he was cooking him, man. I mean, like he couldn't do anything. I mean, there were times we had to put Drew, on KD because he was putting PJ in foul trouble.
Okay, I want you to tell me who KD ain't put hands and feet on in no series. I've never seen any. Now, was if he was having an off night, I'm talking about somebody guarding him, taking it away from. No, I'm agreeing
Well,
with you. Ladella Greer said mentally. I feel like PJ was physical, so he could play with him. So it was a mental thing. Drew is a great. I love Drew. What Drew brings to the Bucks, but
right.
he's one of the top defensive players in the NBA. That's already accepted and documented. But I don't think he brought the tough like the physicality that PJ brought to the defense. I don't believe he brings it.
But I think Ibaka is going to bring that. I think
Yeah,
Ibaka is going to bring that. I always feel like in playoff basketball, you got to have a couple of goons in your team. And we got Grayson Allen, and we got Serge Ibaka, and we got the people's champ, Bobby Portis. So we got some goons. We got some, you need some bangers. You need some bangers down there, some dudes that can, give some hard fouls. You know what I'm saying? They can, get down there and fight, get tough with it. And I
yeah.
think we got that, but we still need one or two more pieces to me, man. I'm not worried about the East. I'm worried about the West. I'm worried about the
Better be worried
Suns.
about the East. You better be
Man,
worried about the East.
who? Well, okay. I shouldn't say that because we're two and a half behind. We're 2.5 behind, but
Right,
I'm
but
not worried about Philly. I'm
once
worried.
okay.
I'm worried about Miami more than I'm worried about Brooklyn, especially if Kyrie. We go into the playoffs and Kyrie still can't play home games and shit. If that happens, they're in trouble. I'm
Kyrie feel that bullshit. Kyrie feel that. My heart is like, man, this is weird. I mean, I'm out of here, man. Like people say, people say that New Jersey won with that trade. Look, I feel like Harden is probably one of the best scorers we've seen in a long time. I think he's on
Yeah,
the downside. I think it's more to that hamstring than because that's what he hurt in the last year, right? Against the Bucks. His
right.
hamstring was the issue. And I know that the hamstring is one of those lingering things. Like it's like an injury that's just it's like they say with the turf toe. Like it never really goes away. Like you never really get over it. So I don't know. It would be interesting to see if Harden can really offer Philly what they need in terms of
Right.
because, yeah, I wasn't big on Ben Simmons because like they say, he can't shoot, but he's a 6'10" point guard who can play defense. Harden is not a defensive player. So yeah, he might score 25 and give up 40. Like, yeah.
Right. He gonna shoot about 30, 35 times a game.
Yeah. So, I don't and they say Brooklyn actually won. Like Brooklyn came up because they got the better of the deal. So
Yep.
and Simmons, do you
Steph
really
Curry.
want to okay, look, this is controversial because I understand right now we live in a day and age where mental health is a thing, right? Mental health is, and we keep talking about, these ain't the old days where the athletes get treated like shit, right?
Right.
Um, but we talk about individuals with mental health issues. You want Kyrie and Ben Simmons on the same team? Like, you're gonna have to get a team therapist, bro. I'm like,
Well,
I'm just saying, like these is brothers who are high maintenance brothers. Like you need somebody to really be there for them. I need 6'10", millions of dollars, and I just don't feel good. I'm
well,
saying, and I'm wrong because I want to be sensitive to individuals who really are dealing with, because I always look at rich people like, yeah, okay. I was so depressed. I didn't know what to do. You spend some of that goddamn money you got. Like, that didn't make me happy. That's how I found cocaine. That's how they usually are. Like, right. It's for an excuse.
I guess.
Ladella Greer said, fuck Ben.
I mean, I was being and Kyrie on the same team.
Okay.
Two point guards to dominate the ball. How is that going to work?
With KD in the background, talking about, hey, shit, y'all forgot? Like, we'll see how this plays out.
Okay, check it out. I just thought about something else. Okay, LeBron. Let me see. Was it LeBron in Cleveland? Yeah, LeBron. It was LeBron and Kyrie when they were in Cleveland. LeBron pretty much played the way he always played. He runs that point forward because he just takes over the damn ball and dominates it. So that pushed Kyrie into playing shooting guard, which he was comfortable with. Do you think that can work again? Can that work with Ben and Kyrie in Brooklyn?
I'm gonna go back to what my original statement was. I think Kyrie and listen, I'm not I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'm not a pro-vaxxer either. I'm one of those individuals. I respect people's rights as individuals.
Right.
So for me, if you want to take it, you should be allowed to. If you don't, you should be allowed not to. But I do also believe that there needs to be regulations and mandates in place just in case your ass don't want to, right? If there's any truth to any theories that they've given us, which we have not found any of them to be actually accurate,
right.
You should be required to wear a mask. You should be required to, wash your hands. There's things like, okay, you start coming here with that coughing and shit, you got to go. Well, that ain't fair. Well, you chose not to take the vaccine, so we're choosing to put you out. I also believe the way they've laid the vaccine out is bullshit too. The whole booster thing, that for a shot, you boosting a shot that didn't really have no effectiveness against what you're fighting, and you're gonna go boost it. You're boosting nothing. It's like 0 plus 0, right? Like so okay. So I'm saying that to say I respect his rights as an individual, but bruh, you're a professional basketball player. Like,
right.
Like you talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, and people say, well, don't compromise. Man, listen, to be a teammate of yours for me would drive me crazy because he is easily one of the best players in the NBA.
Yep.
But he's a fucking basket case. So to bring Ben in, and ain't no telling what's gonna make Ben mad. Ben, one of them dudes who go home and get mad and decide he mad, and then the next day just don't come. Like, it was all good last night. He at the crib. I'm gonna show them. I ain't going to practice. I'm making him sound horrible with this. I'm horrible.
It's just the skill wise, and I'm not saying that Ben Simmons is to be compared to LeBron James. Game is similar. Game is similar as far as where he's a passer. You know, so he likes to share the rock. LeBron likes to share the rock. He's a scorer, but if there's an open man, he's going to get the ball to you.
Right.
Same thing with Ben.
Yeah.
Ben is more of a point guard. He's a 6'10" point guard. LeBron can be a 6'9" point guard at times.
Ben has a fourth of the offensive skills that LeBron. Ben can't handle the ball like LeBron.
Ben can't shoot like LeBron.
None of that.
He can't shoot like LeBron.
The only way they're
I'll say that.
Size. And it's just size. It's just two big dudes who are very athletic. He's nowhere near as skilled as a basketball player as LeBron. Like not even halfway.
No, I wouldn't say he. See, that's the thing. I'm not saying that he's to be compared to LeBron, but the game type is similar. The game type is similar.
I think you stretched on that one. Y'all got to let me know in the chat room if y'all know hooping. Y'all hear what Coach Tank is on here? They like, that's why he coached football. It stick to
But hey, I'm saying from what I've seen from the year that the Cleveland won the championship with LeBron and Kyrie, I saw Kyrie take a backseat, slide over to shooting guard most games, and let LeBron handle the ball. Okay, now you got a 6'10" point guard coming in with Ben Simmons. Slide over and let Ben Simmons handle the point.
Okay.
Slide over and let him handle the point.
Okay, and so put Kyrie at shooting guard, and put KD at what, forward?
3.
Okay. All right. And Ladella Greer says stop Tank.
Nah.
He said Ben Simmons was a soft ass millionaire. Then he said that's that light skin shit.
You know, it's crazy because I remember Ben Simmons when he was at LSU.
Right.
And I remember all the hype he had coming out. And I also remember his first 2 or 3 years in the league. That's still the same player.
Right.
To me, he's still the same.
Choking at times, sulking, having hissy fits. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
That's like half the league.
Right. Well, you know, I mean,
that's half the league,
right. And that's what the criticism on the NBA is right now by a lot of the old school players, is that these cats are soft prima donnas. And that a lot of them have no grit and grind for the game. But I mean, to them old dudes, I say, shit, if you didn't have to do it, you wouldn't have done it either, right? Like, you had to. That's the way your ass are gonna get a check, right? Like, but if it's an easier way to do it, there's nothing wrong with that. I will say this: you can put together all the talent you want, and this is in any sport. I don't give a damn what sport it is. You got to have chemistry. If you don't have chemistry, it does not matter. You can have all the all-stars you want. You can have all these, I'm a shooter. Well, goddamn it, we only got one basketball, right? So we're gonna have to play together. And if you can't find that, you're not gonna win. Doesn't matter who you have. So the first experiment, because when we first heard of this team with Harden, Kyrie, and Durant, everybody said it's over for the next 5 years in the NBA. These dudes in the run. God, look at this team. They didn't even get to the finals last year. Matter of fact, they lost to the Bucks. Why? Because Kyrie and Harden was hurt. Right?
That's true.
You got the horses, don't mean you're gonna win the race, man. It's like it's like, okay, what we have to look at is chemistry. Are these dudes gonna be able to play together? Are they gonna be able
depth?
Right.
And depth. You know, in the playoffs, you gotta have depth.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Because it's a war of attrition. Ladella Greer said Lena Taylor won. So Lena Taylor got through the primary. Yeah, I guess she got through the primary. We'll be talking about all that on Outlaw Radio tomorrow night. You best believe that. But yeah, man, I looked at he said, just kidding. Oh, you dumbass.
Wow.
Hold on, hold on, player. Yeah, man. But so yeah, man. I looked at the teams. I looked at Philly. I think Embiid is having a he's having. I'm still laughing at him talking about Lena Taylor one. Going just kidding. um, but yeah, I looked at Philly. I looked at Brooklyn, and because I'm looking at how the Bucks, the Bucks getting beat by like they got hammered by Denver. They got hammered by Phoenix. And
Just lost to the Trailblazers too.
yeah, they just lost, but Giannis didn't play. It's before their All-Star break. Cruise control type shit. I don't know when Ibaka will join them. But did he play in this game? If somebody knows, if
Yeah,
Ibaka
he did. He
did he?
6.7 boards.
Okay, okay. Um, I for me right now, the Bucks are a soft team. I don't see no grit. Like when we talked about PJ brought that kind of that Brody like yeah, not in here, punk.
Yeah.
But right now I feel like they all got high pitched voices. I feel like they all like, yeah, yeah, give me the ball, give me the ball. That's just how I feel, right? Like how I feel when they playing. I think they're very soft. I think the Bucks' problem, phenomenal shooters, phenomenal athletes. Drew Holiday, easily one of the best players in the NBA. Of course, Giannis is top 3 in the NBA.
The best to me.
Yeah.
This year.
He's up there. You got to get that a little bit more range for him to be on the level of a KD. But I think he's very close in what he can bring. But you see these examples of Giannis getting stopped. When you prevent him from going downhill, when you don't let him just, they say, build the wall, where you just get your big man up front and say, look, if you foul out, you foul out. But we're not letting this dude come just down the lane anytime. I feel like Giannis got to get a pull-up game, a mid-range pull-up game that's consistent. Because sometimes he hits it, sometimes he doesn't.
He does. He doesn't. That's always been the knock against him, is to work on his jumper and to work on his 3-point shooting. In some games, man, he hits that shot.
Right.
Some games he hits that shot and he causes problems for teams. But one thing I noticed, man, is that he's really good at doing is he'll draw that double team and he's really good at passing out of it. It's just having guys just ready to hit those shots. When he's passing out of that double team. Giannis is a beast, man. I think that in the last 2 years, it seems to me that he's just been an unstoppable one-on-one. Down low on the block, there's nobody that can stop him. And that's what I love about him right now.
I just watched the Phoenix Suns keep him from doing his thing. I just watched him not be able to get up. Well, the Suns they pummeled the Bucks and Ayton and all those guys. The Suns, Chris Paul is a great leader. I think the thing with the Suns you got to watch out is as great as Chris Paul is, he's like 3,000 years old. Like, so I mean, how long come playoff time? It's like knock on wood.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. We talk about load management, and I think by the time they get to the playoffs, the whole league is up on how what you're doing. So the playoffs, you have to slow it down a bit. But I still think the Bucks are very soft in the middle. I don't see, because all of them want to shoot jumpers. They all want to shoot. Like, I mean, we need, because jump shooters are streaky. What we need is some gorillas where even if the jumpers is off, we down here rebounding, getting putbacks, dominating boards. I got 20 for y'all coming from down low every week. Like, we need a player like that. And
we need some youth too. We need some youth.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true. We're still kind of, what, Giannis is 25, 26, somewhere in there.
Giannis, but then what? After that,
yeah.
Drew Hill is getting older. Drew Holiday is getting older.
He said Drew Hill.
I said Drew Hill.
You're super.
Drew Holiday is getting older. He's getting long in the tooth.
Yeah.
Shit. Brooks Lopez, of course.
Yeah.
He's 10 years in so far, isn't he? Shit.
Oh wow. So I'm gonna read this, and I don't know if Liddell is fucking with us again. He said Bob drunk ass Donovan versus Too Short Johnson. Yeah. What and I don't know if he's kid, because I got an opinion on that. You gonna hear you gonna hear it all. You're gonna listen. Black versus white. This is what it comes down to in
Man,
Milwaukee. You're
if
gonna hear.
Donovan won, we definitely can't let him get it. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, it's squared off now. South side versus North side. It's and this is I just got done talking about this with Chris Johnson about if Donovan won, but Donovan had the South Side, and this is during my days as a community organizer and really being on the streets. Donovan had the South Side organized. He had it moving. He had it shaking. He kept it. He man, they had it popping over there, and I would question as to why our alderman on the North Side didn't have the same kind of movement. And I was told, well, because they don't want him to say he copying off us. I said, who fucking cares if he says that shit? Do it. It's working. Like, yes.
Right.
I mean, I remember being over there and the elderly people in a certain neighborhood just had motion lights on their garages in the alleys. So, and on their homes, and he set it up so they can get that stuff put in for free. Right. So that's the kind of shit they were doing. So now as a black person, you're forced to vote for Chevy. This is why I've been telling y'all this whole time. Chevy's a black man, right? So now we got Chevy against the greaser, against Peeping Tom. We'll see. What's if Ladella, Della Greer, all again, right? But yeah, man, it's gonna be a hell of a fire race in the NBA. Now that's all we got left, really. Like football's over. If boxing is my other favorite sport. But I just feel like boxing does a piss poor job of getting the fights together. Like, goddamn,
Yes.
you fight every 5 years, and I understand the toll it takes on your body. But the thing with me with boxing is there's some undercards and some cats that's on the come up right now that could be, because we used to back in the days, I used to watch Friday night fights.
Right.
It was on TNT. I used to watch Friday night fights. And then they had it on HBO too, Boxing After Dark. Like used
I
to
remember it.
right now you just don't see an MMA. I'm not an MMA guy. I'm not really like
Well, boxing, man, the promoters are fucking boxing up. I'm just gonna say it. PBC, uh, Shady Bob M, guys like that. What they're doing in PBC is they're corralling all of the good ones. They're
okay.
corralling all of the good boxers. Terrence Crawford hasn't signed over there yet, but they're corralling all of them and they're controlling the fight game that way. But there are fights to be made that they're not making because they're not the promoters aren't working with each other. You got Spence and Terrence Crawford. They're ready to fight each other now. That fight needs to be made. Why
Okay.
hasn't it been made yet? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
money.
You know,
That's what no, it's always money.
money. The fact that they Crawford, well, Crawford was under Bob M. He's not under him anymore. But
Okay.
since he won't sign with PBC, they won't let their fighters fight him. So
Now
now who do you have to fight?
who owns the PBC? Who owns that?
Al Heyman, and Floyd.
Okay.
Well, Floyd in the background, I guess, but Al Heyman.
Right. You know what? I once again, and that's a question that I had for you. Are you a MMA guy or a boxing guy? I'm a sweet science guy. I like
Yeah,
MMA is a little bit. First of all, I don't like Dana White. I think Dana White is racist as shit, and he's a cocky asshole, and he says a lot of shit that I'm like that was sideways, and I don't dig that shit. I'm
right.
like Sammy Davis Jr. I don't dig that shit, man. Um, but MMA is a little bit too gruesome for me too. Like it's like okay, no rules. It's just like people say that's why you like it though, because it's a street fight. But I think wrestlers, and I understand the fighting styles. A wrestler and a taekwondo expert, like it's two different disciplines. And you could be good as hell with your hands, and yeah, and a dude can wrestle and lock your ass up, or you could be a wrestler and get your shit dotted by a boxer. Maybe the
Right,
purity is what people like about it, but I like boxing because it's a sweeter look. We talking about from the shoulders, straight hands. Uh, let's go.
right.
So I'm a boxing guy. I'm a
Yeah,
box.
me too.
But
Me too.
when you say the promoters ruined it, I don't know. I don't know that the promoters created the politics involved in boxing. Once you put big pay-per-view $100 million paydays on the table, it involves a whole lot more people to make it happen, right? Like,
Right.
especially nowadays, because now you're talking about streaming and you're talking about some people got direct TV, some people got cable, how we going in the internet, and you got to have pirating security, you got to have a bunch of different mechanisms working at the same time. So it's not as easy. I just say that some of those lower level fights where there's boxers who are on the come up, they need the exposure. Like, I feel like that's what makes boxing great, is the come up. That's why you fall in love with a boxer. Like, man, I remember when Floyd Mayweather wasn't Money Mayweather. I remember when he was Pretty
Right.
Boy. I remember when
Right.
he first started, he was just Floyd. You know what I mean? He was just Floyd, the son of whatever his daddy was, whatever, he was just Floyd, baby, So I feel
That,
like those really skilled boxers, and they don't get to shine now. They got to go through a look, and I'm saying this without even knowing what the closed circuit, because regionally there may be promotions that have some sort of television deal on local television. I don't know, but
mhm.
nationally, I don't see it. I don't see the young up and coming fighters getting enough shine.
Yeah, and it's a shame, man, because the sport could be so much more popular if they would go ahead and let these men fight each other, instead of playing politics so much. Because there's so many up and comers that's ready, but they're not getting the opportunities. Like right now, like the weight divisions, the welterweight division is so damn packed with
Right.
really good fighters, but they would not fight each other. They keep trying to fight lesser fighters. So as time goes by, you're not interested in certain people anymore.
Shout out to Big Mike Kimmett and my cousin Ashcott Jones in the Dirty South. Big Black Sports Show, fellas. Welcome to the Big Black Sports Show. I gotta holler at Big Mike. Big Mike, I'm glad you tuned in, bro. We gotta chop it up. Yeah, but you said weight classes, so I want to hit that. You're right. Liddell agreed. He said that's why Jake Paul is doing his thing. He also agreed with me that Dana White is a dick. um, he said there's no golden gloves anymore. Okay, so but I'm saying it doesn't help you that the heavyweight division, which is the always been the one. It's always been the bell cow. It's always been
Mm-hmm.
what everybody watches and says, nah, I'm watching the heavyweights. That's the joint. I feel like lightweight, some little bitty dudes, you get to the weight. Now, who is he? Especially the Dominican and Latino ones. Like, unless they have a really distinctive name, I'll be like, I can't remember all these Alejandro Mexicanes. I'm like, okay, I don't know them dudes, right? But I feel like the little guys are in boxing now are like the main, like, middleweights. I don't mind middleweights. I don't mind watching no fight, but I'd rather see a heavyweight title with two straight up, you know, barbarians swinging from the shoulders trying to just dot each other. I'd rather see that as
Right.
a boxing fan. So, you know, now we thought DeAndre Hopkins. America hasn't had a great black heavyweight champion in a while. When the last time we've been wanting these dudes to be, but Lennox Lewis wasn't, I
Right.
always hated on Lennox Lewis too. God damn. But
So
when the last time we had one?
it's been a while. It's been a while, man. We had a window there with Deontay Wilder, man, but for some reason he just can't get over that Fury hump.
Well, I think a lot of cats can't get over Fury. I mean, people
You
laugh, but
know,
who
Fury
has
is nice, man.
Fury dropping
So
motherfuckers, right?
all the heavyweights are in the UK. All the good heavyweights are in the UK.
Really?
Joe Joseph. What's the other big kid? Anthony Joshua.
Well, he just got
Usyk.
Joshua got knocked. I thought he got knocked. I'd have to check. He's
He,
not open,
he
so I don't
well,
follow him.
he's still in the running. He's wait. I think he's gonna have a rematch with Usyk, the guy that knocked him out.
Right.
While he's having a rematch with Usyk, Fury's gonna fight Dylan White. All the heavyweights are over in the UK right now.
I'm just laughing because Liddell agrees in the chat room. He called Fury a jiggly body ass cracker. Ass cracker, right? Hey, you say I'm not gonna say Tyson Fury sucks. I've seen him dot some people. As a matter of fact, Klitschko's, you got to understand, the Russians they was holding all the heavyweight belts for a very long time. And
Yes.
Fury, I watched him. He dropped it. Joshua dropped one, but he dropped him. Fury dropped him too.
Yep.
It's just
Joshua caught one late. He
what is he?
caught one at the end.
6'8", 280 something. He's huge and he can box. It's very hard to fight. He got to be a very hard
Man,
fight, right?
he can throw those hands, dude. He can throw some hands.
He has some boxing skills. So, I don't get me wrong. I don't think he's, that, oh, he's good. No, but heavyweight boxing right now is not the shit, right? Like he said Joshua sucks. Joshua has a suspect chin to me. He got a lot of power, but
Yeah,
once again, it's that thing I have with these European black dude heavyweight champion with an accent. Like that's why I used to hate on Lennox Lewis. Like, hope somebody knock his ass out. But nobody.
Joshua's more hype. Joshua's more hype. His promoter Eddie Hearns. You tell they put a lot of money behind Joshua trying to prop him up. But Joshua ran from Deontay Wilder, man, for years. So that kind of soured me on him when I saw that he was actually running from Wilder. I knew then I'm like, okay, he's scared.
And I don't think Wilder's over. I think Wilder has to go back to the drawing board. I think Wilder got to go get a real boxing coach. It's a shame, my man out of Detroit. What was his name? He used to have all the fighters. Black dude, Emmanuel. I forget his name. He died.
No,
the boxing. Him in Detroit, Emmanuel. He's known for taking fighters, making them into champs. I feel like Anthony Joshua has to get.
He trained Lennox.
Right. He has to get somewhere where he can find how to box and stop depending on I'm a brawler. I'm gonna throw these wild. I'm gonna throw wild. And yeah, you're getting tagged. You get knocked.
Right.
And he did. Those are people say those fights that he had with Joshua were all great fights. None of them was just like, oh, you got your ass whooped. You lost 2 of them. But I think he needs to go somewhere and learn how to box. And when he reemerges, have a new focus on boxing skills. You know what I mean? Instead of just I think unless he does that, I think his career is over. I think it's over.
I feel the same, man. He's in trouble right now until he wises up, stop being so ignorant, and change his camp. I hate what he did to Mark Breland. He blamed Mark Breland for what that first one. The first one is he blamed Mark Breland, man, and that's not on Mark Breland. That's on you.
Well, I don't know.
You get your ass
worked on with him. I don't know if Mark Breland told him to steer clear the whole. I'm gonna stand in front of a 6'8" giant and Emmanuel Stewart. You're right, Mike. Oh my goodness! Just when I said I gotta holler at Mike, see Mike shows why Mike showed why he's resourceful. Emmanuel Stewart. You're right. Hell of a trainer, and it was one of those dudes who could teach you the art. See, boxing, they say sweet science. It's an art to it. Like so, and it's based on your style and your skill set. And if you get a great trainer, they can bring that out of you. And that's what make champions. But I feel like, Deontay Wilder, he just never found, he hasn't found it because he's just too wild. Like calm down, man. Box.
He's a slim version of Foreman, dude. He didn't have the boxing skills that Foreman had. But he just got that big ass right hand.
Foreman got a lot of his boxing skills later on too. Young Foreman didn't. He was big and strong.
He's big and strong and just knocking people out.
Until
that big hand.
Right. Until he met Ali. And it's like, dude, for real?
When he gets a veteran.
Right. So man, I don't know. I want boxing, but the way sports are done right now. And this is why I've been trying to. We're moving into a space where I want to start bringing guests on the Big Black Sports Show, local coaches, AAU coaches, a lot of people in the community that are involved in youth athletics, and a lot of the greatest athletes don't go to box now. Like it's just like baseball. Baseball scene, its number of black players really dwindle because most black athletes now from track and field is football and basketball. And, a lot of you AAU coaches are selfish to the point where you have athletes and you don't even want them to play no other sport. Right. I know this to be true. But except in the South. In the South, kids play every goddamn sport. Like shit, AAU, I play wide receiver, kicker, quarterback. I play hockey, I box, right? MMA. Right. But up here, I hear a lot of basketball coaches tell kids, don't play this sport or that sport because you'll get hurt. And boxing is not a sport that you really play. Like you have to live. Being a boxer is a lifestyle. Like it's not, you don't just play. It's all 365 days a year, and it's hard work, and it's just it's a tough sport. So I feel like he needs to get he needs to get a trainer. He needs to get him before he fights, because I don't want to see him fight Fury again. Like, and I'd like to see Jake Paul fight a real boxer, since he's knocking everybody out. I'd like to see him fight a real boxer, not an MMA dude. Like, it's
Right.
not the same. It's not the same. If you say it's MMA, but his specialty was boxing, he's not a boxer though. I want to see him fight a boxer. I feel like if he's so good, he should go pro. Why are you fighting pay-per-views against celebrities? Go pro.
Get your pro card. Right.
Yeah.
Why are you fighting washed up? But the money he's making.
That's true.
The money he's making. He's a celebrity. Celebrity. Yeah. What do you call him? Because I don't want to call him a boxer.
Right. What do you call? Well, I mean, you almost got to call him a boxer, because
I guess that's all he did. Well, that's the only style of fight he's doing.
The question would be, I don't think it's whether or not he's a boxer. I think it's whether or not he's a good boxer, or is he a legitimate boxer? I think right now he's, damn sure, winning fights. Like, he got more wins than I do. So, I got to say, well, I guess you is a boxer. Shit, I don't know. You're right, Dota. He says it takes a special person to get punched in the face. Yeah. See, that's a sport that I was always like, okay, that's it. Like, now I want to kick you or something. Like, bite you or something. I'm just elbowing you, right? Like, man, he said Aisha Griffin got one vote. Don't say that.
She got one vote.
Make me get off. Look at these election results, man. He's gonna make me. I mean, we're almost to the end. We're almost to the end. I did want to say, let me see, because I wanted to talk about Antonio Brown, but I guess we could let that wait, because what he's doing with Kanye is still, boy. Like, so I don't know if these two dudes need to be hanging together, Antonio Brown. In my opinion, Antonio Brown's career is over, and that's I guess the biggest difference between the NFL and the NBA is, in the NFL, once you really cross a certain line as a Looney Tune, like, they like, nah, he's not working no more. Nobody signed him. But the NBA is a little bit different. Like, you just kind of look. I mean, look how long Dennis Rodman lasted. Like, it's like, whoa, something's wrong with this cat. And once again, I said it, and I'll stand by it. I think what's going to prevent, and I might be wrong, but what's going to prevent Brooklyn from being good is you got two special needs dudes on your team. It's nothing wrong with it. It's not their fault. They're special, but you're going to have to get them some help. Like, I hope Brooklyn has some steps, maybe in the form of a team sports psychologist, or because both of these dudes really need this right here. They need it, oh baby, right? They need that very bad.
Sensitive.
Right, they need that. So it's very important that or else it's not, because like you say, Kyrie, I'm playing on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's playoffs. Well, I see y'all game 6, nigga.
Well, how's that going to work out?
And then Ben over there mad because somebody said something to him in the stadium, up in the stands and shit. They said my mama, like, bro, I just can't take it today. I'm staying home. I should not be making fun of them like that. I should not be making fun of them like that. But you know how I go, right? So, man, y'all stay entertained, man. Stay informed, stay enlightened. I have so much fun every time I turn all of this shit on that I got hooked up. Y'all can't see it, but it's a whole bunch of shit. My brother Tank, thank you for coming, man. I want to get we're gonna have to get you, because I know I'm a motor mouth. So, I mean, what's on your mind? Like, what we're about to be out of here. What would be Coach Tank's pep talk before we go out for halftime? After halftime, if you had to give one right now.
Well, I'll say just win one for the Gipper, man.
Did he say win one from the Gipper?
Win one for the Gipper.
Not what I thought you was gonna say, right?
No, but before we go, man, I just want to give a shout out to everybody. Everybody's watching it, tuned in to us. I enjoyed the Super Bowl, man. It was a great game. As far as I'm concerned, though, the refs had a little bit too much to do with the outcome. Other than that, I'm looking forward to watching college and pro basketball now. I can focus more on the hoop, and hopefully our Bucks can repeat.
man.
So
Hopefully,
I would definitely be in tune, man. I'm checking out some Marquette basketball. So yeah, man, I'm still interested in seeing how the hometown teams do. Keep my ear to the ground.
that's right, man. Find something to that you enjoy. You can't have stress all the time. That's kind of like the point of why we do the Big Black Sports Show, because it ain't always all bad. Okay, it's okay for
That's
sometimes for your
right.
gangster ass to crack a smile. It's okay sometimes. Be serious when you need to be, and enjoy your moments, your moments of happiness. You can't let these kinds of things miss you, and then you sit around one day and say, "Damn, why am I sick? Why am I bothered by it?" Because you got all this goddamn angst in you, man. Relax, man. Let it out a little bit. Let it out a little bit. Um, I want y'all to check us out tomorrow night for Outlaw Radio. A little bit more serious, but once again, I don't take myself so seriously where I'm like some kind of enigma where don't question what I say. Don't I enjoy when people say, Kev, I don't know if that was right, or I don't know if that information was accurate. Shoot it to me, inbox me, do whatever you got to do. Just be respectful. You got to give respect to get respect. All right. 414 stand up. We got all kinds of issues bothering us, and we all need to collectively figure out solutions. You want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Y'all,
Right.
y'all gotta really understand how much we need solidarity in this city. And I'm only laughing because Ladella Greer is going ape shit in my chat room about this. But yeah, it's conversations we need to have, and we're gonna have those. You people say, well, why you got a sports show? Why you watching ESPN? And then you mad about the lack of coverage or the lack of perspective that the average black person has. They don't even they want us to play the game. Go ahead and bounce the ball and shut your ass up. Throw the ball and shut your ass up. It's a new day. It's a new kind of athlete,
That's right.
new kind of black man. And one thing about us is we believe in building our own. So like I said, it ain't ESPN, it's we ESPN, right? Right. So y'all
Right.
get involved, man. I want to wish y'all peace and love. Capitol Drive and Atkinson, stand up always and forever. Rest in peace to Lil Mo. Rest in peace to that brother. Rest in peace to Dan. Rest in peace to anybody who lost their lives over some foolishness. The sister from Brownstone. Anybody
Right.
out there like, well, my cousin, your cousin too, whoever. We got to stop the violence, stop the madness, man. It really ain't no
Yes.
such thing as bad guns. It's really a such thing as bad people with guns, right? Spoken like a true firearm fanatic. Peace and love. I'll see y'all tomorrow night, man.
Right.